No one told us that marriage could sometimes feel like you're alone. No one really talks about how when marriages go through struggles and challenges, that some spouses live in those struggles and challenges. Although they want to come out and continue to grow their marriage, they find it hard to actually accept what may have been brought to their marriage, whether from their spouse or the universe. And all they can really think about is that struggle, that challenge that their marriage faced. If you feel like your marriage has been given challenge after challenge, you're experiencing struggle after struggle, maybe you feel like your marriage has been dragged and pulled through the mud. There's a black cloud that's been lingering over your marriage, and although you want to come out of it, you just don't know how. You love your spouse, but because of the hurt that you may have felt from them or a situation, you can't move forward. I want you to know that you're not alone in this feeling. Yes, your marriage is unique. There are no two marriages that are the same. However, there are so many marriages experiencing this challenge right here. Maybe one or both spouses have not been able to let go of the struggle or the challenge that they face. And although you want more than ever to just go and let your spouse know that you love them, there's something that's keeping you back from doing that. In this video, we're going to uncover how you can take steps to get out of that struggle, that challenge, that mud that's keeping you stuck in place. Hello lovers, welcome back to another For the Marriage video. I am Lacole Hanson, a marriage and wife coach, really just out here trying to help bring the divorce rate down by providing you all content that really makes you want to go into the other room where your spouse may have been for the last few hours, days, or weeks because you all have not been seeing eye to eye, and make you let your spouse know that we can get through this. We can last. Our marriage can stand the test of times, and we can actually have a joyous marriage. I love doing content like this, and it is something that I just want to continue to give you all. I am very passionate about this, and in today's video, I definitely wanted to talk about this topic, not living in the struggle, because it's so many marriages that are facing this exact challenge that we're going to unpack today. So if you are a new lover to this channel, 1, welcome. 2, make sure you find that subscribe button. And 3, thank you so much for joining me. If you are an old lover or wife or future wife, thank you so much for coming back. So I think that this topic is very important because, like I've said, so many marriages are currently in this situation where they want to move forward, but either both or one of the spouses have really allowed a challenge or one of the struggles that they face to really hold them back from moving forward. And this topic came to me through a person that my husband had introduced me to. His name is Nick Bear. We were laying in bed one day. My husband was listening to him on TV. He was watching him on YouTube. And then he started to talk about business, and anything about business I'm really like gravitated towards. And I really liked his mindset of what he thought of business. So I started to watch him and follow him for his business mindset. So I came across his podcast, and he was talking about something that we've all heard probably a time or two in our life, where you from doesn't determine who you are. And I really resonated with that statement. I've heard it before, and I always resonate with that statement every time I hear it, no matter who's saying it. But this time it was different. I resonated with it from me being a young girl and where I come from, and not allowing where I come from to hold me back. And then I also resonated with it as a wife, as a woman who is married and have, experienced struggle as well too. And I was thinking, if I think of it in the light of marriage, how can I bring that to my For the Marriage family? And that's where I came up with this this title and this video, because I wanted to let you all know that where we come from in our marriage doesn't have to determine where our marriage is going. And I think that is so true for so many people, that yes, you and your spouse may have experienced a struggle at some point in your marriage. But if you are still living in that, it will determine how your marriage is going to be. But it doesn't have to. I think that we all can agree that we at one point had this idea of what marriage would be, right? For me, I definitely thought my husband and I would just always have as much fun as we had when we were dating. We were spontaneous. We traveled a lot. We went to different places. We did different things. We just had a really good time with each other. And, we started off as friends, and then as that, escalated to more, I was just like, definitely he could be, somebody that I just grow old with, because I thought it would always be like that. Shortly after we got married, it seemed like it was challenge after challenge, struggle after struggle that we had endured in our marriage, and it was not, I want to put this out here because I think that it's very important that just because a marriage or a relationship is going through struggles and challenges, it does not necessarily mean that it's infidelity. And I think that we kind of get caught up in the mindset that if you hear, oh, this marriage is struggling or going through a challenge, it's like, well, who cheated? But it wasn't any of that. It was just like things that happened that was brought in from the universe that we didn't expect that we would have to deal with in our marriage, because we didn't have to deal with that, when we were dating or engaged or any of that. So for me, when that happened, I was like, wow, like I did not think marriage would be like this. I didn't think that we would be going through struggle or challenge after challenge. And as we, got our way out of those challenges and struggles, it actually made for a better marriage, because now some of the things that we went through, it was only us. Yes, we had support outside of that, but it was really us that was going through the thick of the challenges and the struggles that we did. So when we made it out on the other side, it was almost like a reward. Like if we went through that, or if we went through these things, then we can definitely get through, anything. And that's the way that we look at it. And I know that our marriage is not perfect, and I know that some people out there can see it that way, and I know that other people are really stuck in struggling in that struggle or that challenge that they have faced, whether it was brought on by a spouse or if it was brought on by the universe. One thing that I want to start off with in this video is letting you all know, because I had to realize this, that nobody can really prepare you for the depth of marriage. Like, Marriage is so deep. There's so many responsibilities that go into it, unmentioned expectations that is brought out when you get married. You know, as girlfriend and boyfriend, it's just fun and let's have a good time, and then you get engaged and then it's still like, okay, well, you know, we got to start thinking about this, and you know, let's go to premarital counseling or coaching, which I am huge on, right? And that's why I offer a premarital coaching course, because I think it's very important. But even that in itself does not prepare you for how serious marriage is. And it didn't prepare me. I really felt like nothing really could prepare me for marriage until I was in marriage and dealing with the things that we had to deal with, right? So that's number one, is to give yourself grace when you're recognizing that you and your spouse is going through a challenge or a struggle, or currently in a challenge and a struggle, or on the other side of a challenge and struggle. Just know that nobody could prepare you for this. Like, nobody could prepare us for what we went through. I can't prepare you for what you're going to go through now or in the future. Nobody can prepare us for those things, right? However, when we are going through them, we need to pull together and not pull away. Because when you pull together, you're working to fight this challenge and this struggle together. When you pull away, you become individuals, and then it becomes of you feel this way, I feel that way. And, you know, you start to grow apart, which makes it harder for you to get out of that challenge or that struggle and not live in it after so long. So number one is just understand that marriage has a big responsibility. The depth of marriage you cannot be prepared for until you are actually experiencing those challenges and those struggles, right? Number two, if your challenge and your struggle has passed, learn from it, right? What could you have done better? What roles did you play, right? And this is going to help you understand, okay, this has happened, but look, we're on the other side. We're still together, even though we may not be talking, even though, you know, I really don't know how my spouse feel about this situation. We made it to the other side. Divorce, yes, it is an option, but it wasn't our option, right? So just understand, if you make it out of the challenge and the struggle, yes, you may have some setbacks, or you may have to think about it, or some flashbacks, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you made it out. Your marriage is still together. May not be as strong as you want it to be, but that can be built upon, right? So you want to make sure you make it out of the struggle together, right? You want to make sure that you and your spouse is not considering or thinking about, or maybe even if you are like thinking about divorce or considering divorce, you come together and say, is this really what we want? We just beat this big challenge or this big struggle. We made it out. Like, can we stick together, right? It's very important for you to learn, like, what did you do? What roles did you play in that struggle, in that challenge? And then lastly, you cannot live in a struggle and think that your marriage will move forward, right? And this is probably the biggest thing that I wanted to present to you all, is that when you are currently in a struggle, all you can really think about is getting out. And then when you get out, you're thinking about, okay, what just happened? How did I handle this? Like, why did this happen to us? You're having all these questions, and sometimes those questions don't have answers to it. So that puts you living in the struggle. You want to know why, like, what was the reason for this? Like, am I okay? Like, you know, why did my spouse handle it this way? Why didn't they do this? It's a whole bunch of whys and what ifs, right? That lets you know that you are currently living in the struggle. Yes, it's past, But if you're still asking those questions, why, and you're not getting the answer, it's because you're searching for an answer that may not be able to be provided to you. So you're living in that struggle, which is probably making you more mad. It may make you more distant from your spouse. It's gonna make you feel less than, or start to doubt your marriage, or whatever the case may be. You want to make sure that when you get out of the struggle, that you are not spending so much time still in the struggle. Like once you all are over it and it's gone, and you have said your piece or found some type of peace in knowing that this struggle has closed or this challenge has closed, you assess the situation and then you get out of it, right? Especially if you want your marriage to grow and continue to be intact. With that being said, I think that is very important for you to kind of know how to be able to move forward and being in a challenge or a struggle, right? So that you don't live there. One of the ways that you can do this is, I always recommend journaling. Write down your feelings, discuss with your pen and paper how you feel, but really come into understanding, having your own understanding of what took place, right? You may not get the answers that you're looking for, but releasing those emotions and those feelings that may be causing you and your spouse to stay distant. Because like I said, if you all grow apart, it's going to be harder for you to come back together. It's going to take a longer time to kind of build you all coming back together. So it's very, very important that you understand that, yes, there's something that has happened. You recognize it, you get your own understanding from it, and then you move forward with, maybe you want to find your spouse's understanding, or maybe you all come together and find an understanding together of what took place, especially if it was something from the universe that just came out of nowhere, right? It's very, very important. But if you are feeling like your marriage continues to go through a struggle, or your marriage has not been able to get over a struggle that has happened or a challenge that has happened, or you constantly feel like you all are being dragged through the mud or a black cloud, maybe the challenge has passed, and the reason why it still feels like you're in it is because you're living in it, and you need to close that chapter by journaling, talking to your spouse, reaching out for assistance, or a therapist, or whatever the case may be, because you don't want to live in that challenge, because your marriage will never grow. Hopefully this video is going to be helpful to someone. If you really like this video, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up. Make sure you share the video, and always come back for some more For the Marriage talk. Until next time, bye-bye.